everyone, it's Goose, and we're just going to do a quick market outlook and kind of what I'm planning on trading for the week. Now, last week got surprisingly bullish towards the end. All the earnings ended up beating, and we ripped to the top of our seemingly infinite range. Let me make this chart big real quick. So, okay, we're getting all sorts of fancy whiskey all over here. All right, so since the beginning of April, we have been in somewhat of an infinite range, right? And we seemingly kind of broke towards the bottom of that range. We thought we were going to have some massive sell-off, caught a bid, and then not only did we catch a bid, but we just completely eviscerated the entire range in like the span of a day, right? We ripped incredibly hard. We had a plus 3% day amidst all of these super rangy, almost 0% days that we've had for the last month. It was a pretty wild end to the month, in my opinion. So now that we're near the top of this range, it kind of looks like we're bullish, like we kind of want to break out. And because we haven't been in this territory for so long, on this time frame chart that I have right here, I'm not actually going to draw any levels, because if we do break this range, then we are becoming very clearly bullish, right? So there's not a lot of shorts that I want to be taking, and the upside target is not necessarily clear and somewhat infinite, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the market go up, and I'm going to start longing zones that we made down below, either poor structure left behind or any sort of, volume zone that gets put in on this chart. Anywhere that we put in a lot of volume, I'll probably mark that out and look for that to be an area to long if we do break out of this range. We are still technically in the range. We're just at the very top of it. And one thing that can really determine what we're going to do with this range is going to be the FOMC rate statement on Wednesday. What is that? Let me pull it up right here. Right here. Wednesday, May 3rd. Let's see there. May 3rd. For me, right after lunch hour, so 1 o'clock CST, we're going to have our FOMC rate statement where they're going to decide how many basis points they're going to raise us. Now, if everything is going according to schedule as they've planned for the last 6 months, we should see an interest rate decision of 0.25 basis points or 0.25%. And that's going to be right on target, right? I do not expect that decision to be bearish or overly bullish, but rather just what the market is expecting, right? If we get an interest rate decision of 0, which would kind of save the banking crisis that we see going on right now, if we see that 0, then I expect the market to be insanely bullish, like 3% to 5% green day type bullish. If we see an interest rate decision of 0.5%, then I expect a very, very bearish day in the same kind of percent frame of I expect a -3 to -5% day if we do have a 50 basis point interest rate hike. Like that's very bearish. That means that, hey, inflation is not under control. We need a rate higher than initially expected. Yeah, it's going to be bloody. So really, I think the first 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, are going to kind of be pricing in what the market thinks that we're going to get. And in my opinion, we're going to get the 25 basis points. I do not see us getting 0 basis points, and I really don't see them hiking it all the way up to 50. Earnings did beat, but it wasn't anything major. And if the Amazon one was any indication, they said that, yeah, they beat this last quarter, but already things are slowing down for this future quarter. So I think the whole inflation thing is starting to come under control. And if they just continue on their current path, we should have our bullish summer that we've been talking about. Now let's go to our longer time frame chart and kind of look at what I'm looking at there for as far as swing positions. And my swing positions are marked by these higher volume nodes here. And as you can see, we're at the top of this high volume node here, and it's almost it's a pretty hard gap that we have to jump here, right? If we do break out of this range, I expect it to be a pretty violent rip up to this next zone, right? There's not a lot of volume here in our move down. And what do we know about volume and volume profile is price likes to move to these high volume profile or these high volume nodes, and we'll chop around in those areas and then move very quickly from one area to the next. So in this volume gap right here, I expect price to be moving rather quick. I expect a lot of volatility, right? A lot of volatility, but also bullish volatility, not the bearish volatility that we've been seeing. So that's kind of my plan as far as swings go. If we break out of this zone, might be buying some calls and planning for this 14K zone about. And that's all the further that I'm going to hold calls for, right? I'm not going to try to hold calls all the way up to 15K, although I think we get there before the end of the year, right? I think we have a bullish summer and that we make our way all the way back up to all-time highs. Maybe not this year. That might be a little presumptuous to think we make it all the way to all-time highs this year, but I do see some bullishness. 15K is easily achievable, in my opinion. I don't know what time frame that's going to be in. I expect some chop and some wildness. Any sort of news story can throw us haywire. But like I said, I expect this next interest rate decision on Wednesday to be 0.25. We get some chop, but it's going to be some bullish chop, right? I will not be trading Wednesday until after the decision comes out. As we've seen on interest rate days, FOMC days, any sort of really big news event days, the whole regular trading hours all the way up to that point is usually pretty gross, choppy. It's just everyone getting themselves positioned for the move, and the moves themselves aren't clean until after the news is released. So I will be holding my capital until after the decision is made, so that if we do get a 50 or 0 basis point hike, I can play heavily accordingly. If we get a interest rate decision of 0.25% or 25 basis points, I might just not trade it all Wednesday, let it sort itself out, and then come back Thursday. Monday and Tuesday, though, I do expect to just be regular level-to-level trading. I'll be looking at initial balance, my longer time frame levels. Like I said, if we do break above this range here, I will, like I said, I'm not going to draw any zones above outside of my purple zone on my longer time frame chart. I'll be looking here for not a short opportunity, but a long target, I guess. Like I'll be looking for longs to that area. But I'm not going to be drawing any intermittent zones in between here. I'm just going to be looking for pullback opportunities to long. And like I said, I'll be looking at volume profile for those. Or like I said, initial balance. Like I said, I'll be watching a few different things, but more so to kind of gauge pullback opportunities and like stay to the long side as long as we're above this range. However, if we fall back into this range, it just goes right back. I'll just be playing my yellow levels along with initial balance, looking at daily volume profile. And I expect if we come back into the range, expect us to go back to the POC and continue ranging back and forth to it, and say it's a range until proven otherwise, right? So yeah, that's pretty much my outlook for the week. Yeah, pretty bullish if we can break the range. If we can't break the range, that's just sad. But even though we didn't break the range and it is sad and it's not all easy longs, we still have our levels stay valid, and we just continue playing the range. Like I said, range trading is also easy and fun because we know where to be long and short at. So we can play that just as easily as we can breaking to the long side. Although it is fun cheering on the market when it does break to the long side. So I hope everyone has a fantastic week. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all stay patient. Please, for the love of God, don't try to be long or short going into the statement unless you are just trying to YOLO an eval. And even so, just trade your eval like you should, right? Don't waste that money, and just stay safe and make me proud, because I want to see a bunch of verified traders in our Discord in the coming months, because I know a lot of you have been working hard and staying disciplined. And like I said, I just can't wait to see all that happen. And that starts on Monday and it continues every single day. So, like I said, stay safe, have fun, be patient, trade with appropriate leverage, and let's have ourselves a fantastic week.